Tell me who you spend your time with, and I'll tell you your future. This isn't a metaphor, it's a law of human nature. You eventually become like the world you inhabit. Look closely around you. The people you spend the most time with quietly shape how you think, how you speak, how you act. Their habits become yours, their beliefs seep into yours, and one day you wake up and realize you didn't consciously choose who you've become, your environment did it for you. Naval Ravikant puts it clearly, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you truly understand this, it can change your life, because your circle isn't just a group of friends, it's the climate of your mind, a mental ecosystem where your ideas, your emotions, and your ambitions grow. Some people are like the sun, they bring energy and clarity. Others are like lingering shadows, they dim your inner fire without even realizing it. And sometimes you're the one playing that shadow in someone else's life. Here's the problem. Most people never choose their circle consciously. They just accept it. They hold on to people from their past, out of loyalty, fear of hurting someone, or simply because being surrounded feels easier than being alone. Meanwhile, their ambitions fade, their ideas stagnate, and their lives settle into complacency. If you want a life that is clearer, freer, more aligned, it starts here, by reassessing your mental ecosystem, understanding who lifts you up, who drains you, and who keeps you stuck. Because your circle isn't neutral. Every person around you affects your awareness, your energy, and your decisions. And over time, these small influences shape your destiny. In this video, we're going to explore the 3 essential pillars according to Naval Ravikant: why your circle determines your future, why you need to surround yourself with seekers of truth, and how to play the long game with people who grow alongside you. You'll learn to recognize the right connections, cut toxic ties without guilt, and most importantly, build a mental environment that supports your best self. Because it's not sheer willpower that changes a life, it's the environment in which it takes root. So ask yourself, does your current circle push you to grow, or does it invite you to stay the same? Pillar 1. Choosing your friends, the roots of your mental ecosystem. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Naval Ravikant. Have you ever noticed that some people leave you feeling lighter, clearer, more alive, while others quietly drain you and you can't quite explain why? It's not a coincidence, it's an invisible law. Your surroundings become your inner environment. Think of your mind as a garden. Every relationship plants something there, seeds of peace or thorns of confusion. You could be the most disciplined person in the world, but if your soil is toxic, nothing solid will grow. I knew a man who dreamed of changing his life. He read, meditated, worked hard, yet nothing seemed to shift. His mind stayed stuck in the same conversations, the same complaints, the same excuses, until one day he realized the problem wasn't him. It was the air he breathed every day, the 5 people he spent his time with. He stopped spending time with those who complained without ever acting. He gravitated toward people who built, who sought truth, who dared to dream bigger. 6 months later, everything had changed. His energy, his discipline, his confidence. Nothing magical, just a change in his mental ecosystem. Humans are mimetic. This truth is as old as philosophy itself. We imitate without realizing it. We absorb the beliefs, emotions, and behaviors of our group. You become the average of their ambitions, fears, and conversations. Spend your days surrounded by negative people, and the world starts to feel heavy. Surround yourself with truth seekers, builders, free thinkers, and you naturally rise without even trying. It's as if your mind is breathing purer air. Ask yourself this simple question: Who in my current circle helps me become the clearest version of myself? You don't have to abruptly cut people out of your life, but you do need to be aware of the climate they create in you. Start noticing. After spending time with someone, do you feel more aligned, motivated, peaceful, or scattered, frustrated, drained? Relationships aren't inherently good or bad. Some simply align with your growth, others don't. And it's your responsibility as the gardener to care for your inner soil. Seek the company of those who embody what you want to become. Not those who talk about progress, but those who live it quietly, naturally. Their mere presence calibrates your own inner standards. Practical exercise. Take a sheet of paper. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Next to each name, ask, does this person inspire me, lift me, or drain me? You'll quickly notice a pattern, and that awareness alone is enough to start an inner shift, because the moment you see your circle for what it truly is, you reclaim control over the direction of your own growth. Choosing your friends isn't an act of rejection, it's an act of self-love. Your circle is your mental soil, and like any living ecosystem, it can only stay healthy if it's nourished by truth. This is exactly what Naval calls the long-term secret. Play long-term games with long-term people, people who are truth seekers. Pillar 2. Truth, the clear water that purifies your circle. A lasting relationship isn't built on comfort, it's built on truth. Truth is like clear water, sometimes cold, sometimes uncomfortable, but it's the only thing that truly cleanses your inner ecosystem. A few years ago, a friend told me something I didn't want to hear. It wasn't harsh criticism, just a simple statement. You say you want to change, but all you do is talk about it. At the time, it stung. My ego wanted to defend, justify, minimize. But later, alone, I realized he was holding up a mirror, and that mirror saved me from years of self-deception. Truth wounds the ego, but it heals the mind. It's the ultimate test of a real friendship. Are you surrounded by people who tell you what you want to hear or what you need to hear? Naval often talks about truth seekers, rare individuals. They don't aim to be right, they aim to see clearly. They don't debate to dominate, they debate to understand. Being around them forces you to confront your contradictions, to step out of the fog of self-complacency. And that confrontation, even when uncomfortable, is the greatest form of respect someone can show you. Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living," but what he didn't say is that we need others to truly examine ourselves. By the way, if Socrates' quote, "The unexamined life is not worth living," resonates with you, I've made a full video on that very topic. It'll help you understand how to actually practice self-reflection in your everyday life, not just in theory. Watch it right after this one. The two go hand in hand. Truth seekers are living mirrors. They show you who you are without masks, without filters, without social pretense. And as long as you're surrounded by people who prefer superficial harmony over clarity, your circle slowly sinks into complacency, a quiet swamp where nothing grows. Start observing the nature of your conversations. Does your circle talk about people or about ideas? Do you seek understanding or validation? Truth seekers aren't always gentle, but their intentions are always kind. They want to help you grow, not diminish you. When you find these people, hold them close. They are the friends who challenge you, confront you, and force you to see clearly. And those are the ones who truly care. As Naval puts it, the people who care about you are the ones who tell you the truth. So choose relationships built not on comfort, but on clarity, because in the long run, truth bonds deeper than flattery. Practical exercise. Take a moment. Remember a truth someone told you that hurt at the time. Maybe it was a remark from a friend, a mentor, or a loved one. Ask yourself, what if this pain wasn't an attack, but a gift? Write down what this truth helped you understand or transform. Think about the person who told it to you. You'll often find they were one of the few who truly respected you. Then look at your current circle. Who still dares to tell you the truth? And more importantly, do you dare to tell it to others? Truth is the ultimate test of time. It erodes shallow relationships, but strengthens the ones that are real. That's why Naval says to play long-term games with long-term people, because only relationships grounded in truth can endure and grow. In the next pillar, we'll explore this long-term dimension, how to build connections and trajectories that deepen over time rather than exhaust themselves in the pursuit of instant gratification. Play long-term games with long-term people. Discover why this principle is the key to a stable, aligned, and deeply free life. If this resonates, leave a like, not as an automatic gesture, but as a declaration that you choose clarity even when it's uncomfortable. And if you want to go further, subscribe. Every week we explore how to turn these principles into a life that's aligned, sustainable, and meaningful. Pillar 3. Playing the long game. Investing in a lasting circle. Most people want quick results, easy friendships, instant connections. But everything truly valuable in life takes time, especially relationships. A friendship is like a long-term investment. The returns aren't immediate, but over the years they compound until they transform your entire life. There are two types of people: those who switch circles based on trends, interests, or seasons, and those who build slowly, patiently, a network of trust, loyalty, and shared ideas. The first group chases novelty. The second seeks depth. Naval is one of those who play the long game. He doesn't look for useful connections. He looks for real ones, the ones that grow with him. As he often says, your circle should be a long-term investment in your future self. In other words, your network is the most valuable capital you can own. And like any smart investment, you need to know where, with whom, and for how long you're putting your energy in. A shallow relationship gives you dopamine. A long-term relationship gives you direction. It's the difference between a spark and a campfire. One shines brightly for a few seconds, the other warms you through the night. Playing the long game means accepting that true relationships grow slowly, through honest conversations, through trust tested over time. These bonds become invisible multipliers. You grow through the other person, learn with them, and share cycles of growth rather than fleeting comfort. Most importantly, you no longer need a mask. In a long-term circle, trust replaces performance. You have nothing to prove, only to evolve. Naval often talks about positive-sum games, creating relationships where everyone grows. Here's how to start. 1. Spend quality time with people who share your values, not just your interests. A lasting relationship feeds on shared principles, not favorable circumstances. 2. Be a long-term friend yourself. Keep your promises. Be consistent. Be loyal, even when no one is watching. You can't attract what you don't embody. 3. Avoid relational volatility. Don't jump from connection to connection whenever things get uncomfortable. Relationship growth often comes after honest disagreements. Exercise. Write in a notebook, which relationship deserves my long-term investment this year? It could be a friend, a mentor, a colleague, a family member, someone with potential to build something deep. Then note one action to nurture that bond. A sincere message, a meeting, a thank you, a shared project. These small, repeated gestures are what build the strongest relationships.
Naval says wealth, wisdom, and freedom always come from the long term, but it starts with the people you choose to have by your side. So if you want sustainable growth, choose people who think long-term and become someone worth playing that long-term game with. Because at its core, life is just a repeated game with the same souls, and true freedom is choosing who you want to play with until the end. If this video helped you see your circle more clearly, share it with a friend who matters to you. Sometimes a single video can spark a real conversation. And leave a comment with your thoughts or personal experience. Your insight might inspire someone else here.
Application: building your mental ecosystem. To help your mental ecosystem thrive, roots are friends who lift you up. These are the people who feed your vision, challenge you without judgment, and celebrate your growth. Clear water is truth and clarity. You need to breathe in an environment where honesty and clarity flow naturally, where flattery and stagnant illusions disappear. Time is slow, sustainable growth. Patience is your ally. Strong bonds are built steadily, not through instant, superficial connections. Step-by-step practical guide. 1. Map your social environment. Make a list of the people you spend the most time with. Rank them based on the energy they give you, alignment with your values, and their ability to help you grow. Exercise. Each week, do a small check-in on your circle. Note what nourishes you and what drains you. 2. Step back from what drains you. Gently. Identify toxic or energy-draining relationships. Gradually create distance without unnecessary conflict. Exercise. Pick one relationship that weighs on you and write one concrete action to reduce its impact. 3. Deepen what inspires you. Invest more time with those who lift you up. Create rituals to exchange ideas, share experiences, and learn together. Exercise. Schedule a meaningful conversation or meeting this week with someone who elevates you. A balanced mental ecosystem doesn't need to force growth. Like a tree that receives enough water, sunlight, and strong roots, your thoughts, energy, and relationships will grow naturally, in clarity and calm. When you carefully build your mental ecosystem, you move closer to clarity and inner peace. You realize that true power isn't about controlling others, it's about mastering your own circle and your own mind. Conclusion: the peace of a clear circle. Recap: your circle is the soil where your life grows. You don't always choose who enters your life, but you do choose who stays. Reassess your surroundings, not with judgment, but with clarity. Cut away what stifles your growth, nurture what lifts you up, and let the rest return to the earth. If this video resonated with you, share it with someone in your circle. They might need to hear this right now. And leave a comment about what you've realized about your own circle. Your insights could inspire someone else seeking clarity. If you want to continue building a more conscious life and a clearer circle, subscribe and hit like so you don't miss the next guides. And if you want to go deeper into this idea of self-examination and awareness, watch next the video Socrates on the Examined Life. The unexamined life is not worth living. It will help you understand how to actually see yourself clearly, because knowing who surrounds you starts with knowing who you are. Because deep down, what you call you is often just the sum of the voices you allow to echo in your mind. See you soon, right here on Deep Life Lessons.